Well, good morning. We have with us Sabrina Harmon from Newell, and she works in our school system, heading up some different programs. So, Sabrina, we're happy to have you with us this morning, and we just want to ask a few questions and get the word out of exactly what your responsibilities are, what you do. And so tell us a little bit about yourself this morning and what in the world brought you to Newell.
Okay. Well, I'm actually the director of the Whatever It Takes Coalition. And so our office is based out of the school, so I'm not paid by the school. But they let me stay there and work with the students and the staff through the school. And the Whatever It Takes Coalition is a prevention and education coalition. So we offer things to help families make better choices. And to get to Newell, we actually lived in Piedmont, and we were looking for some land, and some land came available here. And so we decided to move, and we have 6 children, but our youngest 2 were still in school. And if we would have stayed in Piedmont, one kid would have got on one bus and went to the Piedmont school, and the other one would have got on a different bus and went to Sturgis. But when we moved here, they got on the same bus and came to the same school. So that was kind of a major reason that we moved up here, and that was 20 years ago this June.
Wow, 20 years. Yeah. And where were you before that then?
Well, we lived in Piedmont,
Okay. But
South Dakota.
I thought you said you were from...
I grew up in White River, South Dakota.
Okay.
And graduated from the White River School, and my husband grew up in the Chamberlain-Fort Thompson area.
So you're both familiar with
Yeah.
the culture, the communities, the small
Yes.
rural areas. Are you farmers or ranchers? Or?
We ranch, and we have sheep and cattle.
Okay.
So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, tell us a little about the program within the school and some of the responsibilities and the doors that opens up for you.
Okay. Well, the Whatever It Takes Coalition, we are funded through 2 different grants that we apply for that are federal government grants ran through the state. And one of them is a school community tobacco partnership grant. So we try to do some tobacco prevention and education through that grant. And then we also have a block grant that they call it through the Department of Social Services through the state, and that is to address underage alcohol use and what that brings to it. So, and through those 2 grants, then I am able to bring some classes into the school. One of them being called Positive Actions, which is just how you do everything in a positive manner. There's always a positive way to look at every situation. And the other one is called Life Skills.
Okay.
And when I was in school, life skills was like how to boil an egg,
home ec.
Yeah, it was home ec, how to sew on a button. And now life skills is tobacco prevention, underage alcohol use, suicide, anxiety, stress, those types of things that youth are dealing with more now.
So let me get this straight. This class that you're talking about then actually teaches the children or the youth how to deal with anxiety, anger issues, and things like that, more just living skills then.
Right.
Yeah.
This past year, due to COVID, we haven't been able to go into the classrooms, but we've always been able to in the past. But I do try to still have a connection with all the kids from preschool up through 12th graders. We just had a coloring contest where one of our seniors drew a picture of Irrigator Ike, and then each student had to color it and put why they choose not to use tobacco. So every grade did that, and we've done where we got some muffin in the cup things from the NVN food bank, and we bought Christmas cups, the WIT Coalition did, and every kid from kindergarten through 5th grade got to make a muffin in the cup. So it's just a connection with the kids, and then you get the chance to talk to them about making good choices in life. So we do fun things like that.
It's wonderful. Can you give us any examples?
We're touching all their lives.
Yes.
Sometimes they don't realize it until later. or they'll send me, like some of the kids that have graduated will Facebook message me about activities or something that I should be doing at school. Because we've always been able to do what was called a leadership day too with the high school kids, and that was bringing in like our highway patrol, our deputies, our state's attorney, some motivational speakers and stuff. And again, this year we weren't able to do that, but we've had those students reply back after they graduate, and then it's always about the time I think I'm going to give up because prevention's hard. Then I get a message like that from somebody that's graduated. And we used to have what was called SAD team, which was Students Against Destructive Decisions, and we did a lot of community activities and stuff through that, and I'm hoping that we can get that going again next year.
Well, what are some of the biggest challenges that you see today for our middle school and high school kids? I hear things among us as adults. People sometimes say, well, boy, things are different nowadays. Sure, I'm glad that we didn't have to deal with that when we were younger, but yet we had our own issues that we dealt with. But what do you think today that our youth today faces that is really challenging for them that maybe you and I didn't encounter?
Well, that's a tough question, and we just talked about that as a staff not too long ago about what can we do, because it seems that a lot of them just don't care, or I think a lot of stuff has to do with parenting in your family, 2 or 3 or 4 generations back even, about how hard you work. It seems like the kids that have to work harder in life, like our ranch kids or like that, are more willing to work for something versus the ones that get a lot handed to them. And I think technology is a huge issue because it seems like they would rather sit on their phones and play video games than be out doing something. That's my personal opinion though, but I even noticed that with my grandkids. They come to my house, sometimes I collect phones or something and say get outside and play or whatever, but I don't know what the real answer is, other than we try to be there to help and be a resource if something comes up. We do tobacco diversion classes, we do family classes, like how to deal with different things. We've put on youth mental health trainings. We've brought in and done prevention day training. So we do whatever the community asks us to do, because we have connections through youth and family services and through the state prevention, where I can find people to come in and help us address any issue that we feel needs to be addressed.
That is awesome.
And so we try to help where we find there's a need, but then a lot of times it's like the families that show up, it's like you're preaching to the choir. They're not the ones that need to be there or whatever. So I don't know what it takes, but we literally do try to do whatever it takes to make a difference. And I have an awesome group of coalition members that will, and we collaborate with every organization or entity in the Newell area, from the Newell Community Club to the Totten 20 Extension to the NVN Food Bank, to our Leo Club, Lions Club. We try to help encourage or support all the things that they're doing. And then in the summer, we try to sponsor or help, like the Newell Community Club do the play days at the rodeo grounds, the golf course do the junior golf activities, and the NVN or the community club with their Santa Claus days and their Easter egg hunts and that stuff. We try to just be a helpful resource for anybody else too. We try to collaborate within the community.
Yeah, and you do a great job. You really do.
Thank you. But we do keep doing what we can, and it can't be a one-time message.
No.
We have to keep sending them the same message over and over and over. Like we'll be taking the freshmen and sophomore to a freshman impact event in Faith, along with some other schools. That can't be a one-time thing. It's just like Red Ribbon Week. That can't be a one-time thing. So we try to do monthly activities or events, trainings, whatever. We have a monthly coalition meeting or an activity. We work a lot with our legislators, like we just hosted a legislative Cracker Barrel, because we feel like it's important for our community to know what things are happening in Pierre, what bills are being pushed, and to be involved. You need to be an involved citizen and step up when you think your voice needs to be heard. And we want them to know. We actually just took the junior class and a few seniors to Pierre for the day, and they actually got to sit in on committee meetings in the morning and listen to people talk about the pros and cons on an issue, and then we got to sit in on the legislative sessions in the afternoon, like the House, and then we went over to the Senate, and they actually got to see them in person, how they were addressing bills, and how one guy can say, well, I'm for it because of this, and the other one saying I'm against it because of this, and how they voted on it, and then how other people were there to support, trying to encourage them to vote this way or that way. We can't lobby or anything, but we can educate our representatives or tell them, well, this is how we feel. So we talk to the youth about how they even have the opportunity to talk to their own legislature people to, help make decisions. And then we actually hosted a lunch where our representatives and elected officials came and had lunch with them, and they could ask questions, and they told them what it took and everything, and all the students had to tell me what they thought of the day. And the kids are honest. They thought, well, we're going to take it because it was a day we could miss school, but when they got down there, that they really enjoyed it and learned a lot. And then all the representatives actually made them feel like they were important. Like they talked about the girls' sports bill, they talked about homeschooling, they talked about the marijuana, everything, and they asked the kids for their input, and they felt like, wow, these people were willing to listen to me. So we try to teach them that, you have to make choices now.
Yes.
So, and then when they pass these bills, you have to live with what they pass. So if you have an opinion, tell them now.
Yeah, yeah. And you put all of that together.
Yeah.
That's one of pretty awesome.
That's one of my things. My dad was the mayor of the community I grew up in, and he was one that says, find a solution. Don't be the problem. Find the solution to the problem. So I try to do what I can to help these kids realize their potential.
That's wonderful, Sabrina. Yeah, it's almost like a ministry in the school, and in your own way. It is. It is.
Well, I'm kind of known as the grandma at the school, because they'll come to me when they need a bottle of water, and then
snacks.
Right. I was going to say, we work with the NVN food pantry, so we get snacks for them, and we work with the Department of Health and Department of Social Services, so a lot of times I can get the water bottles and stuff for them. So it's like, and everybody at school kind of calls me grandma, and my granddaughters don't like it sometimes. Or they'll say, you're his grandma too? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have one more question here before we leave. And this has been awesome. I've enjoyed this today with you. If you had an opportunity to give a word of advice to the next generation coming up in Newell, what would that advice be?
Well, I guess one of my favorite sayings is that you should live your life the way that the pastor doesn't have to lie at your funeral. So live your dash in between when you were born and when you die, in a way that you'll be proud of, and to help out others, because you feel better about yourself when you're helping others. You do. That's way more than that's what you wanted one word, and I would say. It doesn't have to be one word. Okay, yeah. All right. So live your legacy. Yes. To something that you'd be proud of and that your parents would be proud of. Absolutely. Very good. So are you a 501c3? Yes. We formed our coalition, and actually when we formed our coalition, it was because one of our superintendents in the past asked us to become a coalition because there was funding out there through these different opportunities that the schools couldn't apply for. And at that time, I was the assistant director for the after-school program. So then I did some research and found out how to become a coalition and how to become a 501c3, and I taught myself how to do that because we didn't have the funding. So we did get our 501c3 funding.
So if we wanted to donate, anybody like to donate to the work that you're doing here in the community through the school, they could give a donation, and who would they make that out to?
The Whatever It Takes Coalition.
All right. Excellent.
Do you have a website?
We have a Facebook page. We don't have a website, and it's the Whatever It Takes Coalition Facebook page. So,
All right.
and then they can contact or message me through that.
Well, I want to encourage our community to be a part of that, to give donations. It's the future of our Newell, investing in these children. And thank you for what you do. And it's good to have you with us today, Sabrina. God
Well,
bless
thank
you. Yeah.
Thank you.